Hi, I'm Dr.Dex, not a real doctor. Last April, I did a theory on XCOM Enemy Within. It explained how Enemy Within is actually a sequel to Enemy Unknown, and why you, the player, were the enemy within all along. Check it out if you missed it, it's pretty good, and this theory is a sequel of sorts. Links must be around here somewhere, you can figure it out. Today we're looking at XCOM 2 and why it's secretly the Matrix. No, seriously, that's what we're doing. Oh, it says rustling papers, I should have some papers. Before we move on, remember to leave a like on the video and subscribe if you're new around here. Please, my YouTube rep Carol insists on it, and I don't like the look of that gun she is pointing at me, allegedly. And I'm gonna cut it here, and that's gonna be your intro. Alright, to explain why XCOM 2 is all an elaborate lie constructed by aliens, we need to establish a little timeline. Everyone loves a good timeline, right? It all starts with XCOM Enemy Unknown. Aliens invade Earth and they pick a random schlub to be their savior. Surprisingly, it works, but wait, there's a twist. The whole invasion was just a test to see if humanity is secretly psychic. Spoilers, we are. And the aliens are delighted. Though, when they invite us to join them, we're like, nah, so we kill the aliens and almost implode the planet. Oops. Lucky for us, our main psychic soldier sacrifices himself so humanity can live to fight another day. But then the aliens are like, screw this, we're just gonna kidnap their commander. Spoilers, they do. Which brings us to the next game, XCOM Enemy Within. The commander gets hooked up to an alien network that simulates the first invasion, though they spice things up by allowing you to develop new experimental tech. As a bit of a side project, they ask you to hunt down some terrorists. It'll be fun! Spoilers, it is, but we also doom humanity because the terrorists were XCOM. Oops. XCOM 2 starts off great, with humanity completely screwed over by our actions in the last two games. Aliens have taken over the world and humanity is being led by a cult named Advent. The tech we developed in Enemy Within has been perfected over the last 20 years, and we're still playing war games in an alien CRISPR drawer. Luckily, a bunch of our friends show up and pull us back into the real world. From there, we take the Avengers helicarrier and unite the resistance once more. To make a long story short, we ruin the aliens' plan to build a psychic avatar. We create another psychic ubermensch because that's just what you do, I guess. Then we kick the aliens' door down and they beg us to get back into the fridge. We decline and it all ends with a Dragon Ball Z style beam struggle, believe it or not. The aliens go boom again, but not before telling us we're all doomed. Again. Oops. So, how is that the Matrix? Well, because we got a great expansion, War of the Chosen, which is the same thing again, but with some extra stuff fleshing out the story. Firaxis just couldn't help themselves. This time though, the roles are reversed. XCOM 2 is a simulation, and War of the Chosen takes us back into the real world. Yes, I'm being completely serious, let me break it down for you. We know Enemy Within left us in the hands of the aliens, and that's where we start off XCOM 2. Central Officer Bradford breaks us out of the alien stasis to kick off the plot. So, how am I so sure we haven't really left the simulation? Again, the proof lies in the differences between the base game and the expansion. XCOM 2 is a censored, sterilized version of reality, a simulation to prepare them for your inevitable escape. However, compared to our adventure in War of the Chosen, important factors are being kept from us. Like jazz, it's all about the zombie-infected cities you don't see. Vanilla XCOM 2 shows us a world utterly dominated by the aliens. Everything is perfect, and we're just ruining paradise with our rebellion. There's no opposition aside from us. We are the rogue element. Though War of the Chosen paints a very different picture of the world, there are actually multiple factions that oppose the rule of Advent. One of said factions helps XCOM locate the commander at the start of the game. Like, for real this time. But of course the aliens prepared for this. They already know we will destroy everything if things play out like they did in XCOM 2, so they decide to up the ante. The Elders have selected 3 unique alien badasses to hunt you down. An assassin, a warlock, and a hunter. Seems pretty redundant to have an assassin and a hunter, but who am I to judge? On top of the aliens severely raising the stakes, we get a better look at the world outside of Advent's propaganda. And it's far from the perfect utopia they painted in XCOM 2. Cities outside of Advent's reach have fallen to ruin. Many of these places hit during the first invasion are now overrun by literal zombies. zombies. Advent tries to keep these zones under control by sending in flamethrower units to clean up the horde. It's telling that XCOM 2 kept this from us, because it runs completely counter to the Advent propaganda we've been fed. Everything that didn't fit their narrative got swept under the rug, but War of the Chosen exposes Advent and all of its dirty secrets. On top of that, we also get to unite the factions that oppose the aliens, another thing completely hidden from us in the base game. But what about the content we got before War of the Chosen? Well, we can look at previous DLCs like snippets of info being fed to us inside of the simulation. For example, telling us that Shen and Valen from the original XCOM continued their work in secret, which turns out to be true in War of the Chosen. Maybe these were problems the aliens wanted you to solve before you broke out. Okay, one question though, how can we be sure that War of the Chosen isn't yet another simulation? Well, a few things stand out to me. For one, the aliens are pulling out all the stops this time around. They hired the toughest warriors and bounty hunters in the galaxy just to take you in. Then there are a bunch of tools at our disposal on the resistance side. There is a real emphasis on rallying humanity to fight back against their oppressors. After every mission, you can make your squad pose for a cool propaganda poster, which can actually be found posted around the map in future missions, something the aliens definitely didn't allow in their simulation. Despite the aliens' best efforts though, we ultimately end up in the same position. We unite humanity and the other rebel factions, destroy the Chosen sent after us, and in a roundabout way prove that the alien simulation was indeed very accurate. Heck, they even predicted the beam struggle. That's some foresight. Oh wait, they're psychic. Yeah, fair enough. Shame he didn't help them against the commander with access to quick save though. Oh well, better luck next time, aliens. But wait, why are the alien elders so desperate to work with us? They keep waxing philosophical about trying to prepare us for something big, though they never tell us who or what has them running scared. All we know is there's a great psychic force deep beneath the Earth's surface, and if the psychic race of precognitive aliens thinks it's bad news, they're probably onto something. Which means we just spent 4 games dooming the universe as we know it. Hey, does anyone else wanna have a crack at this whole commander thing? You know, before I somehow manage to unmake reality next time around? No? Well, okay, then just call me when the end of the universe comes knocking, XCOM 3. I will lock myself in this freezer before I make things even worse. Really sorry about dooming us all. No refunds though. And that's why XCOM 2 was all a lie. Alien propaganda fed to you through the Matrix. If I just keep saying the Matrix, I can justify putting it in the tags. Thanks for checking out my XCOM theory. I hope it made sense. If you want to support me, just leave a like on this video and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment if you have any thoughts on this theory, or if you just want to yell at me for the lack of uploads. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter if you're completely insane, and I hope to see you next time. Thanks for watching, take care.